Hello and welcome to our December coffee chat. If you are new around here, every month we do a coffee chat, which is our chance to just kind of like sit down and catch up basically. It's like if we were sitting down to a cup of coffee at a coffee shop, these are the things I would tell you. So we talk a little bit about how the month's been going, things that have been going well, things that have been struggles, things that can do a little better. And I usually will pick one or two comments or questions that I've seen either in my DMs or on videos or something like that and answer those as well. Today specifically, we are going to talk about how to prep for next year and motivation and why it's a good idea to take a break. So let's hop right on in. All right, the first thing I want to tell you, first off, how cute is my mug? Merry Christmas, welcome to Vlogmas. I have many Christmas mugs and I actually have a little Santa hat, which I will put on when my whipped cream goes down because I don't want to get it all gross. We have our tree up and everything's so Christmassy and happy and it's just making me very happy. I went from I cannot believe it's November, I feel like it's March, like what is happening to this year, to it's Christmas like overnight. And clearly I am all about it with my Merry and Bright and my little bow earrings and my candy cane leggings. I'm very fancy today, you know, my hat. Yeah, we are going ham on Christmas this year. We decorated our children's church the other day and like the whole wing basically, and our youth pastor said, he was like, I'm just kind of going a little Christmas crazy. Like, I feel like I just need a little extra Christmas this year. And that's how I have been feeling too. Like, I keep thinking of that song, We Need a Little Christmas. Just keep top of my head. That's how I feel. So I want to know how you are feeling. What holidays do you celebrate? How do you celebrate them? What's your favorite thing about them? I love everything about Christmas. I love how happy it is. I love like the lights and I love how it's just like a cheery time and everything's all bright and happy, and I love that everything is all chocolatey and pepperminty, like my peppermint mocha coffee right here. It's actually a white chocolate peppermint mocha and my lovely Nespresso. Yes, Zoe, I'm having a mocha just for you. Did it on purpose actually. And it's delicious. So I want to know all about your holiday traditions down in the comments, so let me know. And while you're there, I do want to let you know that next week we are going to be having a TBT Q&A. That's a lot of letters, but also if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. This video is going up on a Sunday and I'm probably going to film my Q&A on Thursday so that I'll have time to get it edited and uploaded. So if you are watching this in between the day it comes out and Thursday, then go ahead and put your comments down below. And if you have questions after that, you can leave your question and I'll just answer in the comments like I normally do. So go ahead and leave all those things in the comments. So as far as like how November went, I think it actually went pretty well. I had been in this like September was crazy town, and then October I really chilled out for a while and like it was almost a little bit too chill, and I think November struck like a pretty good balance other than the week of Thanksgiving when I did nothing. Like, I guess I edited some videos and like cleaned a little bit, but that's about it. Like, I mean, normally I work the whole break and I did not, and I did nothing, and it was glorious other than decorate my house. So really appreciated that. Now that we're into December, I'm kind of trying to stick with that, like not too busy, because I really want to enjoy this year. This is the first year since 4th grade that I have not had like a bunch of concerts in December. I am a musician. I sing in 2 different choirs as well as I teach elementary music. So I also conduct a choir of little kiddos. Actually, most of them are as tall as I am. Usually December is taken up with concerts and rehearsals and dress rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. Actually, if you watch my Vlogmas, I have a whole playlist I'll link below from last year. I did film the entire month up until like the 23rd, I think, something like that. And it's literally like, all right, going to rehearsal, all right, going to concert, all right, going to another concert. And yeah, I think I had 4 concerts that I performed in, plus dress rehearsals, plus normal rehearsals. And then my choir at school had a concert and they had a field trip where they also sang on their field trip. And my children's church kiddos also had a whole performance and all the rehearsals to go with all of those things. So like normally December is crazy town. And this year I'm really missing not having that choir and singing and stuff. But at the same time, I am like, why don't I just enjoy this? Because realistically, it's one of the only years that's ever gonna be this calm because everything is canceled. And so I just, yeah, I'll be happy to return to choir, but it's nice to have a little bit of a break. Although I heard some pieces from the Messiah the other day and it made me very sad that we will not be singing them. But alas, it's all good and it's almost 2021. So let's talk a little bit about prepping for 2021. So as far as 2021 goes, I always start thinking about my goals early. So I've already thought through kind of like where I'm aiming next year. And then in the next few weeks, I'm going to like really sit down and think really strategically about what I want to do and all of those things. But the new year is a great time to really clarify and think through like what are things that are working and what are things that are not working in your business. So go through and look and see what is working and what is sucking up a lot of your time that's not working, because those are very important things to know. And then how can you kind of be a little more strategic in the new year? Everything, the more strategic you be, the more time you will have and the better your store will do. I picked up 2 books to help me in my goal setting new year process, and I haven't read either one, so I can't recommend them yet, but they both come highly recommended, which is why I picked them up. The first one is Your Best Year Ever. They have like the same name. Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt. He is the creator of the Full Focus Planner that I talk about all the time because I'm obsessed with them. I just ordered my new ones for next year, so that's exciting. And he like has an entire business about being productive, and he has courses and books and all the things. So I haven't read any of his books, but everyone always says that they're really good. So I'm really excited to read this one. It says you're a 5-step plan for achieving your most important goals. So I'm really excited to read this, even though I haven't read them yet. This is like the next book on my list, the next thing that I will be reading. And then this one I picked up more for like Christmas break or winter break, and it's called Your Best Year Final Draft by Lisa Jacobs, and it is the business edition. They also have like a personal edition, and this one is like a book workbook kind of thing. So that's why I was thinking like to do it mostly over break. And I haven't read it, so I can't tell you too much about what it's about, but there are a lot of like things to write, and it looks like there's monthly challenges and monthly focuses and just all those good things that y'all know I nerd out about. So that's how I'm prepping for next year, that and just getting clear on my goals. I got like a big desk calendar that I'm going to use to plan out my videos, and I think it's going to be helpful, mostly because then I don't have to cut my sticky notes into like fourths to get them to fit on my little calendars, because y'all know I always do my content on sticky notes so that if I need to move something, it's really easy to do that, especially videos. But I do videos, blog posts, and I like color code it all, which is something we will be doing again next year because it's changed my life. Started color coding everything this year, and I'm like, I can't believe I didn't do this before. I never did it because I was like, that seems like a lot of work and it seems like it would be really difficult, but it is a game changer, so I highly recommend it. Another thing that I am working on next year is getting a little more into affiliate marketing. So I just like this week joined the Like to Know It app. If you haven't heard of that, it's basically an app where you can post links that people can shop. So if you follow any like fashion bloggers or fashion people on Instagram, this is how I know about it. They always say like, you can shop my links on Like to Know It. And so it's an app, and you just go, and it looks like an Instagram feed, but then it has the links to everything down below. So I just started mine. If you have an account, then go and follow me. And if you don't have an account, you can still shop the links. So now anytime I post something on my Instagram that is something that could potentially be shopped, whether that is a picture of books or a picture of, you know, like me in a cute shirt or just any of that kind of stuff, I will also be posting it on Like to Know It so that you can grab it, because I've had a lot of people ask me for links and like, hey, where's that shirt from? Hey, where's that book from? Or, you know, just all those kind of things. So this is just like an easy way to kind of condense them all. So definitely go check that out and follow me, because I just started, so it's like at 0. So I'd really appreciate it. Even if you're not gonna buy anything, just go follow me so it doesn't look quite so sad. On a completely different note, I was planning to talk about a certain topic, and then on a whim this morning, I posted a picture of my coffee cup and I said, hey, I'm filming a coffee chat today. What do you guys want to talk about? And every single person that answered said motivation. One person in particular said how to stay motivated in your business when online teaching is sucking the joy out of your life. I'm not gonna lie, I totally relate to that. So I scratched that out, and we are instead gonna talk about motivation and how to be motivated and how to get motivated and stay motivated and just all those good things. Because everyone wanted to hear about motivation, I decided to talk about motivation. So specifically motivation when you're really frustrated and really tired, and I am gonna address it from that online teaching / teaching 6 feet away is sucking the joy out of your life, because I totally understand. And there's a few different steps for this. The first thing I want you to think about is categorize. You could even make like a T-chart. Categorize things you can control and things you cannot control. Because right now there's a lot of stuff that you cannot control. You cannot control whether your school is online or whether it's in person, and you can't control all of the COVID and if people are sick and all of those kind of things. Those are all things you can't control. You can't control really and truly whether your kids show up to your class or not. You can't control if they show up and they fall asleep. You know what? Those are all things that you are not in control of. But there are things you are in control of. So things like your thoughts and your attitude and your actions are all things that you are in control of. So the very first step when you're like super overwhelmed and unmotivated is to get out of my face, is to think about what are things that you can control and what you cannot. The things you cannot control, stop. The things you cannot control, you either need to get rid of or you need to find a way to deal with them. Now, if this is your job, you probably need your job, so getting rid of it's not a good idea, but you need to find a way to deal with it. So online teaching is a struggle bus. It is, and teaching 6 feet away is a struggle bus. And you know what? Teaching normally in person, just like normal every day, is also difficult. So we didn't go from like life is easy to life is difficult. We went from like life is difficult to life is even more difficult. And so it's just a little bit crazy. But you can't change those things. So right now you just need to find a way to deal with them. The way to deal with those things is to change your perspective. So if you can't change the situation, you can change your perspective by changing your thoughts, and then by changing your thoughts, you'll change your feelings and your actions. I wrote a ton about this in my book, The Happier Teacher Life, which I keep reminding myself every time I get frustrated. I'm like, Becca, you wrote a whole book about this stuff, so you need to practice what you preach, and it's actually been kind of helpful. And so in there we talk a ton about this concept, which is you can't control the situation, but you can control how you feel about it by controlling your thoughts. So for example, we are about to go back to school in person in January, and I am stressing about it because there's just so many things I don't know. Like right this second, I don't know how many kids we'll have. I don't know if we'll be, you know, online and in person. I don't know if that's gonna be at the same time. I don't know if I'm gonna be teaching in the classrooms or if I'm gonna be just teaching like the kids who are still virtual. I don't know if kids can share instruments. I don't know if we can sing. So like, I literally don't know what lessons we can do because I don't know whether or not we can sing, whether or not we can play instruments, whether or not we can use the internet and stuff like that. So like, I know nothing right now. And that's a very stressful place for me to be. And actually, when we found out that we were going to be going back, it was like my anxiety level just skyrocketed. And what I did is what I'm going to tell you to do. Stop and change your perspective. So instead of sitting there and thinking about how much I was not excited about going back and how terrified I am, I stopped and I started thinking, you know, it's gonna be really nice to see my kids in person. And there's a lot of kids I haven't seen since like March, and it's gonna be really, really good to see them. And it's gonna be kind of nice to actually put clothes on and makeup on every day and stop looking like this. And just taking that second to stop and think about the good things and change my perspective made all the difference. It made most of my anxiety go away. Now, not all of it because there's still a lot of unknowns, but it helped a lot just from changing my perspective. So that was just changing my thoughts, changed my feelings, which then allowed me to change my actions. And instead of just freaking out, I went and sat down and started thinking, okay, what are things that we can do in the classroom without singing, without playing instruments? And I actually made like a list of ideas. That was a helpful thing for me to do. So if you're teaching online, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe none of my kids are coming to school again, think, I am so glad that 4 second graders decided to show up in my class today. Because you know what? Those 4 second graders could have just gone and watched TV. They could have gone and played outside. But instead they chose to come to my class. And that allows me to be grateful for them and excited to be there, as opposed to being grumpy and miserable and upset that no one came. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying that it's going to fix everything, but looking for those areas of gratitude and things you can be happy about is going to make a huge difference. What you can control, what you can't control, figure it out. If you can't control it, you just got to fix your mindset and change it. Things you can control, change. So one thing you can do is find the little bits of joy in your day. This is something I do all of the time. Actually, I often do it in like that October and February where it's just kind of like a slump, like the kids are crazy and I'm tired and I'm over it and they're over it and everybody's over it and it's just kind of miserable. And so I just try to think every day about like, what are good things that are going to happen? And sometimes it's literally like, oh, I get to see that one kid. And like, that's exciting. And just little things, or, you know, we're reading my favorite book to the class this week, or those kind of things just make a huge difference. Just thinking through like, what is something good that's going to happen today? Or on the flip side, what is something good that did happen? And really try to enjoy those moments and savor them, because they come few and far between. So like, we're still teaching online, and I literally will have sometimes 3 kids show up, 2 kids show up, and it's frustrating, but I have gotten to know those kids so well. Like, we've been able to do things that we normally wouldn't have been able to do because there were hardly any of them. Like, I actually got to talk to them and they felt comfortable talking to me because they didn't have their peers there. And so like, those little things that make a difference. I have had a lot of moments of joy in, you know, first graders doing a dance and things like that. There's actually been a few days I've been really grumpy and I'm like, I hate everything, and like maybe angry about other things and other aspects of my job that are not my favorite. And then I will go and teach a class and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Because if you allow yourself to feel that joy and just really be in the moment, it will make a difference. Now, sometimes that might be inserting some joy into your class. So if you can't just find any naturally, make some. Make something, you know, do something fun in your class, or do something fun. So maybe you insert your favorite book and read your favorite book to your kids, or maybe you insert a Go Noodle video and do that. And those things will make you feel a lot better. Or maybe it's just for you. Maybe you're like, okay, this afternoon I'm gonna watch a movie just because I want to. And those are things that'll help you find your joy. Now you're like, Becca, None of that had to do with your business. Actually, it has exactly everything to do with your business. In your business, there's things you can control and things you cannot control. So things I can't control, I can't actually control whether people are buying my products. I can't control how much money I make. Yes, I do make a goal and I say like, I want to make this much money, but I don't actually have control over whether or not that happens because that's not up to me. What I can control is how many products I make, posting on social media consistently, getting my blogs up, making YouTube videos. Those are all things that I can control. And when I get frustrated with my business, I lean into the things that bring me joy and the things that I like. For example, I love making videos and I love making content. So when I get stressed out about my business and when it's frustrating and I don't want to do it, then I think, okay, what are things that I love doing? I love making videos. I love, you know, creating little products. So sometimes I'll just go and make a product just for fun because I like it. And that is a way to be motivated. So when you're thinking about your business, think about what you can control and then make what you can control joyful. Add some joy to it. If you've been, you know, really stressed out and having a really specific schedule, maybe try switching it up. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Maybe you've been working on a certain product line and you are just sick of it. I've been there, I was there this year. And so maybe you try something new. Maybe you do like a little one-off product just for fun. Maybe you print out your coloring sheets and color them because it's fun. Like, you're allowed to do those things. So think about the things that bring you joy and really lean into those and try to focus on what you can control. I know it's frustrating, especially if you're new, because it's hard to be new. Teachers Pay Teachers definitely does better with older resources. Not because TPT is like evil and is trying to like hinder new sellers, but just because of the way that it works. And you know, once more people have seen a resource and people purchase it and people leave reviews, those things all help. So if you have like a 1-month-old shop, it's not gonna do well. It's just not, and that's okay. It's frustrating, especially when you're spending a lot of time on it, but just think about that long term, because in 6 months, your brand new resources won't be new anymore. They'll be 6 months old, and then they'll do better. Do keep at it, do keep working, but just remember that it's a long game that we're playing. Find the joy, think about the things you can control. Another thing you can do is try something new. So maybe you try digital products for the first time, or maybe you know, test out a new product line, or maybe you jump on Instagram or something like that just for fun, just to try it and see if it helps. Sometimes just inserting something new will really awaken more motivation from you because you'll be more excited to do it. And the last thing I want to say is you might need a break. Now, not like a long break. We're not like stepping back and being done. But you know, maybe you take a week off. Maybe you take 2 weeks off. Maybe you take December off and start fresh in the new year, and that's fine. You might just need a break. You might need a day off or a week off, and that's okay. I told you, I did nothing over Thanksgiving break. I was like, I'm gonna do all these products and I'm gonna do all these things. No, I filmed a couple videos. I like literally did the bare minimum for what I needed to get done, and that I was good and I was happy and I just chilled a lot. So that's okay. Now, do be careful, because you don't want that short break to turn into a long break or to turn into giving up, because that's not what we want. But maybe just take a short break and kind of get revived. I know that for me, when I do take a break, like if we go on vacation, you know, back in the good old days when we traveled, I find that like after a while I get that itch again, and I start thinking like, oh, I'm really excited to get up on Monday morning and make this new product, or you know, make some videos, write a blog, or all those different things. It really helps to reawaken something. So maybe pick like, I'm gonna take a break for this certain amount of time, and make sure you're gonna come back to it afterwards, but feel free to take a break because you might just need a rest, especially if you're like me and you work all day, every day on it, and you've got all the pressures and all the things. You're not alone. This is the long game. it's gonna be great. So keep at it, focus on what you can control, find the joy, insert the joy if you must, try something new, and maybe take a break. The last thing I want to say about this is manage your expectations. So this is something I have had a hard time with, is expecting more of myself than I can actually do. I do this a lot with my to-do list. I'll have like so much on my to-do list that I can't possibly actually get done, and then I'm frustrated because I didn't get things done. If I manage the expectations of what I can actually achieve ahead of time, then I am less stressed out about it and less frustrated because I don't have as many things left undone. Same thing with, you know, your goals. If you set I love setting high goals, but the thing about setting really high goals is that sometimes you don't hit them. So managing your expectations of how much money you're gonna make and how many products you're gonna make and just all of those things can really be helpful, you know. Unfortunately, just because you post something doesn't mean it's immediately going to get purchased, which is still frustrating years later because you work really hard on something and post it and you're so excited, and most of the time no one buys it right off the bat because, again, this is the long game. One of my best sellers right now is a product I made 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I had been on TPT for like 2 months, and it's still a bestseller today. So remember, this is the long game. You can do it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And unfortunately, you can't find your motivation in the money. You have to find your motivation somewhere else. So find the motivation in helping people or in the actual creation process or those kind of things. I hope that was helpful and I hope that made sense. I feel like it was a bit rambly, but overall I hit all the points that I meant to hit. So thank you guys so much for watching. Well, you'll see me in about 2 days because we have a video going out almost every 2 days. Have a wonderful week and a very Merry Christmas. Hi everyone, and welcome to our December coffee chat. Yes, welcome Tolly. Today we're, okay, can you sit? That'd be great. You're ruining my intro. Thoughts? Okay, sure. Let's try that again. You're being annoying. Today specifically, we are going to good girl.